All right, shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachak Kodash. I want to give double honors to my apostles at Great Millstone who taught me this truth, and a sincere shalom to elect out there teaching this truth in all honesty and sincerity in these last days. Okay, and this is going to be a response, spiritual response to a video that's been going around where originally Apostle Tahar had made a video on it, and this is a response, and I watched Apostle Gabar's response to it, and I'm going to do a quick response to it. Okay, basically what happened was an Italian man called into Tazaryach's show, Captain Tazaryach's show of the ISUPK, and he sounded like a Jake when he spoke, okay? But Tazaryach, being the spiritual puppy that he is, or entry-level Israelite that he is, okay, automatically dismissed him off as being an Edomite and referred him to the Genesis camp, okay? And this is ridiculous, man, because these guys, just like the title says, the discernment of spirits is a gift, not given to pretty much anybody. Okay? And this is obviously shows that these guys in ISUPK and a lot of these other camps are really dealing with the carnal mind, okay? They're not spiritual. They just do not understand that our people are going to look like every nation. Okay, and that's why we have to look at the spirits. Okay? We have to discern spirits in certain people, man. Because not everybody, just like Apostle Gabar was getting into in the video of the Cornelius Council, not everybody is going to look super dark, man. Me, myself, I look like a so-called white man, okay? Now, when you see me in person, I look a little more olive skin, but on the camera, I look like a so-called white man. But, I'm Italian. Are you going to say that I'm not a Jake? I've been in this truth 13, 14 years, man, okay? If I was a heathen, I surely would have been weeded out by now. Okay, the Lord wouldn't have kept me serious in this truth as long as He did, and put me through what I've gone through. Okay, and He wouldn't give me the level of understanding that I have. Okay, and brothers that know me will tell you straight up I'm a Jake. Okay, and this isn't about me. Okay, but you guys are shutting up the kingdom of heaven from men. All right, we want to get the fuck out of here, man. We want to get the fuck out of here, and the elect has to wake up in order for that to happen, man. Okay, the elect has to be sealed, which they're already sealed, but you know what I'm saying. Okay? But that just goes to show you, okay, that these guys are the carnal Israelites, man. These are the guys doing the boot camps and all the dumb, silly bullshit. Dressing up like executioners at their Passovers and shit. Having all kinds of heathens at their Passovers. And that man sounded like he was, that was on the phone, sounded like he was sincere. That he wanted to learn the truth. Okay? But these guys, they're just carnal Israelites, man. Straight up. Let's get this in Romans. Romans 8:4, that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh. And that's what these camps do. They mind the things after the flesh. But they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. Okay? For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded okay, is life and peace. To be spiritually minded is life and peace, man. Okay, it's a great blessing to be spiritually minded. All right? And this is the 14th verse. For as many as are led by the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, they are the sons of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Because this truth doesn't just get revealed to everybody, man. Okay? Just like the scriptures say that it is the Spirit that quickeneth. Okay? It's the Spirit that calls you into this. Okay? So if somebody is taking this truth seriously, and especially, if they're calling on the proper names, Yahweh and Yahushai, okay, then they're Israelites, man. They're Israelites. Okay? Now, could it be possible that you could sneak in agents here and there? That's totally possible. Okay? But that's true for anybody who comes into a camp, that they could possibly be an agent. But if a brother is taking this truth seriously and he's on a high level of understanding, it doesn't matter what he looks like. Because our people were scattered, man. Our people were scattered. Okay? And as far as that man being Italian, okay, Paul wrote an epistle to the Romans, man. Paul wrote an epistle to the Romans, and there's plenty of scriptures about Italians. And actually, let me put that. Acts 18:2, and found a certain Jew named Aquila, born in Pontus, lately come from Italy, and his wife Priscilla, because that Claudius had commanded all Jews to depart from Rome, and came unto them. So there were Jews, there were Israelites in Italy, man. Okay? And I gotta put my 2 cents in on the whole Northern Italian and Southern Italian thing. Okay, because that's the first thing I came to mind, even before I heard Apostle Tahar mention it. All right? Northern Italians and Southern Italians and Sicilians don't get along. Okay? We do not get along. We do not respect each other or even look at each other as being real Italians. Okay? We don't like them Northern Italians, man. We don't like them Northern Italians, man. Us Southern Italians and Sicilians. If you look at a lot of the great Italian musicians, they all were pretty much Southern Italian, right? A lot of the great musicians, a lot of the great athletes, okay, the soccer players and so on and so forth, they're Southern Italians mostly, man. And that's a fact. A lot of them Northern Italians are just straight up Edomites. The ones that live up near the Alps and shit. Okay? And we do not like them. Okay? And this is a mostly Italian city that I'm in, or at least it was back in the day. And there was a lot of Italians here, and the Northern Italians persecuted the Southern Italians in this area. Okay? And it's been something that's been going on for a long time, even in the mainland of Italy. Okay? It's because, Esau has a perpetual hatred for us. So Jake is scattered all throughout the 4 corners of the earth, man. I mean, again, this isn't just about Italians. This specific example is, but it just goes to show you that these guys are carnally minded. Okay? These guys are carnally minded. They're not using discernment. They're not trying the spirits. Okay? Our people, the scriptures say that, well, hey, Cornelius was an Italian, correct? Okay. But where was I gonna go? I was gonna go to that scripture, and Slacky, I kind of lost my train of thought. But yeah, man, our people are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and they're gonna look like every nation wherein that they were scattered. And Yahweh Shai said, go look for what? The lost sheep of the house of Israel. They're not all going to look the same. Okay? Our heritage is unto us as what? A speckled bird. Let me get that. Hey, I mean, just a testimony, my grandfather, when he was younger, he had to go into the military because he kept working jobs around here and they kept stiffing him on his pay. And what was the main thing that he was referred to as? He was referred to as a fucking moolie, meaning what? A mulatto. Okay? And that's true for a lot of the older Italians around here. It's obviously not the same anymore, but, you know, and then the Southern Italians and Sicilians, they seem, you know, they got the flavor. Actually, let me get that. Salt of the earth. Oops. Was it Matthew 5? It was in the same chapter. I was just down one verse. Matthew 5:13. Ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt have lost his savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men. So our people are the salt of the earth, man. All right? Our people had, I'm talking Southern Italians and Sicilians primarily, had so much style, had so much flavor, okay? You know, being great musicians, being great singers, being great athletes, so on, and entertainers, right, and inventors, that Esau Edom, the so-called white man, started referring to all Italians as being white people. But that simply was not true before the 1950s, 1960s. That simply was not true. During that time, Southern Italians were not considered so-called white people, man. They were not by a long shot. Okay, and you could even go into Chat GPT and put that in. Okay, and you'll be surprised at the answers that it gives you, because that was simply not true. And that's another thing that these guys struggle with. They don't know history. They don't understand different cultures. They don't understand different experiences, you know, because they're not spiritual men. All right, they're not spiritual men, man. It's really all it is. They're not spiritual men. They don't try the spirits, which is what we are commanded to do. 1 John 4:1, Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of the Most High, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. And we're supposed to try the spirits, man. There's a certain spirit that Jake carries with them. All right? You can't just look on the outward appearance. Let me get that. Romans 2:28. For he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly. Okay? He is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, neither is that circumcision, which is outward in the flesh. But he is a Jew, which is one inwardly. Okay? I mean, what? In their spirit, man. And circumcision is that of the heart, in the spirit and not in the letter, whose praise is not of men, but of the Most High. Okay? What is that? 2 Corinthians. Second Corinthians 10, verse 7. Do ye look on things after the outward appearance? If any man trusts to himself that he is Yahushai's, let him of himself think this again, that as he is the anointed's, even so are we Yahushai's. Okay, so if a man believes that he is of Yahushai and an Israelite, okay, and he's coming correct, okay, then you have to pretty much treat them like an Israelite, man. And we're not supposed to go into endless genealogies. That's another, we are what our father is, and none of us have records proving that we're the Israelites, man. None of us have official documentation, okay, proving it. All right, none of us have that official documentation. I mean, James wrote his epistle to what? The 12 tribes which were scattered abroad. Okay, you look in Acts, the 2nd chapter, man. You had Israelites who were all over the place, from Cappadocia, from Asia, from Bithynia. All right? So on and so forth. You think that all of them looked the same? You think that all of them had a certain level of melanin to them? And ISUPK has so-called Puerto Ricans that look kind of like white boys in their camps, man. So who are you to judge somebody based on a phone call, man? He could be darker than half the guys in your camp, just because he's Italian. Tazaryach, you've been in this truth way too long to be on that low ass entry level, man. It's embarrassing. Okay? A lot of y'all are entry level Israelites, man. You guys from IUIC, you guys from ISUPK, you're not deep in anything, man. The only thing that you're deep in is your obvious leader's bullshit. This is Jeremiah 12 and 9. Okay? Well, hey, just like Apostle Kabar brought out in the video, Israel is as the sands of the sea. Okay? Israel is as the sands of the sea, man. This is Jeremiah 12 and 9. Mine heritage. Well, hey, and there's plenty of scriptures out there. Plenty of scriptures in the Bible where prominent men, whether they were kings or prophets or prominent men in general in the scriptures, that had wives of the other nations. So what are their children going to look like? Okay, and this was back in ancient times, before Yahushua even came on the scene, man. So if these men were having wives of the other nations and having children of them, and concubines, so on and so forth, and having children with those concubines, okay, what nationality were their children? And did their children look exactly like their fathers? No, they're going to look a little bit like their mother too. And over time, okay, there's going to be even more so-called mixing, which there's no such thing as a mixed seed. You are what your father is. But just to put it in perspective. Okay? Jeremiah 12 and 9, my heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field. Come to devour. Okay, so our heritage is unto us as a speckled bird. And that means what? Variegated. Okay? Which means of many different colors. Let's get this. Let's see if the Blue Letter Bible changed this. Let's see if they changed it. Yep, they did. They took out speckled bird. Oh, wait, no, they didn't. Speckled. Colored, variegated, speckled. Variegates means what? A variety of different gaits or appearances. If you look that up in the etymology, it's what it's going to say, of different colors. All right? But you guys are on a low level. You're not thinking spiritually. Okay? But really, that is a gift. And you can't be spiritual if it's not given to you. Okay? Now, what about war babies, right? It's in the law that when a man, I know it's in Deuteronomy, I believe it's 20, chapter 20, I believe, where a man, if you go to war with the nation and you see a beautiful woman, okay, that you can take her to be your wife, you give her 30 days or a month to mourn the loss of her family, shave her head and pare her nails, and then you could go in onto her and she could be your wife. Now, what nationality is that child going to be if you have a baby with that woman? It's going to be an Israelite. Okay? It's going to be an Israelite, man. And it's not going to look exactly like its father. So, with that, till next time, shalom. I hope you all are edified.